Hello, my music-loving friends. We're going to be folding this paper to make whichever book you're working on. You can see I have my paper landscape. That's what it is when your paper is long ways this way. Now, we're going to be going this way. But before you start, consider this. If you fold your book so that your corners look like this, that's not going to be a very nice book, is it? So we're going to line our corners up very neatly. So here I go. On this side, I'm making sure these corners line up very precisely. Then on this side, I'm making sure that my corners also line up very precisely. Once I like that, I'm pinching it so they stay together and pressing it to the table. Now I'm double checking it one more time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be nice so that you enjoy the book that you make. And you see how I'm smashing it against the table now. So then starting in the center, I'm going to press that fold, center and out, center and out. Now, as you will see in many of my videos, I'm a big believer in smashing the fold. So I have my book here. The fold is right here. I'm taking the handle of my scissors. You can use a fingernail, you can use a pen or a pencil or anything that has a nice hard edge to it. And I am smashing that fold. Smash, smash, smash. And then I'm actually going to turn it over. Here's the fold now. I'm going to smash it one more time so that it has a nice solid crease in it. Okay, now, having properly smashed my fold, I check my book, I make sure that I like the way it looks, and I am ready to add a little pocket to the back. So I'm flipping it over. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that in view while we're doing some folding. So now you need this piece of paper. And we're going to be making a little pocket that just lives on the back of the book so you can store your sheets of paper in there for future videos. That will all make sense as we go along. For now, you can just fold as I fold. I'm holding my paper like this. It is portrait when it's this way. So I'm going to fold that bottom to top. I'm lining up my corners, as always, oh so neatly. Okay, once I have my corners lined up, I'm pinching them together and I'm pressing it down onto my work surface here. And I'm holding it there so that I can get this fold nice and neat. I go from the center out, and that gives me my first fold. And of course, I am going to smash that fold with my scissors to make that a nice solid crease. And that fold is going to stay forever. Now, if you want to make a pocket that's easy to put things in and out of, it helps to have a little tab folded down. So you see how my paper looks right now? So I'm folding a little tab down. It doesn't have to be a specific size, but you see how I'm using my thumbs and I'm kind of bending around that? So I'm folding it down and I'm kind of starting the fold but not creasing it hard yet. First, I'm making sure that my corners line up with the edge of the paper. So I checked over here. I'm going to go ahead and press that down a little bit. And then I'm checking over here. Do I like it? I do. So then I'm pressing that, and then I'm pressing that fold overall. And then you guessed it, smashing. Smash, smash, smash. Whoops, I folded up my corner there. Oh well, I'm gonna live with it. Okay, so now that I have this, I have the back of my book here, and the goal is to get it glued down here. But of course, you have to glue it so that you can still put things in it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I'm going to do glue stick, then I'm going to do liquid glue. In most of my videos, I do a side-by-side, but in this one, I'm going to do one after the other, so I can be very particular. So starting with glue stick, you see how I only have a little bit of it twisted up, not a big bunch of it. That's going to make it gloppy. So where that tab is, I'm folding it over, so I'm looking at the back, and then a little dot in each corner, like so. Notice you don't see any big glops in there, all right? And then I'm connecting those dots. Connect, 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 connect. All right, so hopefully you're doing this along with me. All right, once I've done a dot, a dot, a dot, dot, and connected them, I'm gonna do an X across the middle, maybe an extra one for good measure. And then very importantly, I am capping my glue stick. All right, so now turn it over so I can see the front of it. Whoop. And then I'm kind of testing. Do I like the positioning of it? Notice I haven't actually stuck it down yet. I'm looking for there to be a little bit of space on each side and a little bit of space on the bottom. And again, perfection is not even an option, so I'm not going to try to be perfect. Once I like the placement of it, I'm opening this piece up actually, because it's easier to press this part down. Aha, now, but how does that make it a pocket? You may be wondering. So I take my glue stick again, and only on the sides, you see this piece that's folded down? Only on the sides. I'm gonna put a little bit here. I'm doing 2 so that I know it's enough to make it sticky. And then on this side, same thing. Did I say 2? I'm doing 3. All right, so now that I have that, I'm gonna fold it up. And then I press that, press, 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 and press, press, press. Okay, so once that's dry, I'll be able to put stuff in here. This little folded down tab makes it so that you can see exactly where to slot it in. I swear it makes it easier. All right, so let me show you what that looks like with liquid glue. Okay, again, I have the back of my book here. I have my folded piece of paper, turning it over so that I see the side that doesn't have the fold on it. I twisted this up, and I'm going to teach you, yes, I am going to teach you how to manage your glue because I'm like that. So we're putting a tiny little strip along each edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe a little very thin X across the back. Close it up, wipe it off. That's how you keep your glue from getting gunky. Now, obviously, if I just put this down, it's going to look all gloppy. So take that same finger and make a nice thin layer of glue. You see how I'm doing that? Oh, it's so good. All right. And once I've done that, then I'm kind of holding this finger out of the way for what it's worth. I turn it over. Just like I did with the other one, I've kind of decide if I like the placement of it and then set it down. And then open up and press it into place. And of course, we're going to do the same thing that I did with the glue stick, where we put some glue here and here to actually make the pocket. All right, so I have my glue. I've opened it back up. A very thin line. This one you have to be really careful with, or you will glue your pocket shut. All right, closing up that glue, wiping it off. Got to manage your supplies so that every time you do your work, it's fun and you don't have to unstick your glue or find things that went missing or anything like that. So now I fold this back up and press it down. So now, no matter which one you did, you have a book with a pocket on the back so that anytime you have little loose papers that you're trying to save for a future video, you have somewhere safe to put them. See you next time.